Hey y'all, welcome back as we continue through the book of Job together. Today we are moving into chapter 26, where Job responds again to Bildad strongly with a series of very direct questions. Job puts his foot down. He has had it, and he basically says he has heard enough. In the midst of the worst personal suffering of his entire life, the worst misery imaginable, Job focused on the one he knows is certain, God. He focuses on the God who created the universe and all of creation. He chooses to look up in the midst of his suffering. We'll go ahead and start in verse 1. Then Job spoke again. How have you helped the powerless? How have you saved the weak? How have you enlightened my stupidity? What wise advice have you offered? Where have you gotten all these wise sayings? Whose spirit speaks through you? Job is mad. His tone changes in his response to Bildad. Before magnifying God's great power in the universe, Job unleashes on Bildad for being a complete, unhelpful jerk. He lets all his buildup of anger and frustration for his friends come unleashed, and he lets them have it. His response is filled with emotion and laced with sarcasm. Rather than listen and respond to his heart and his sufferings, they would rather push their beliefs and accusations down his throat, and Job has had it. Bildad was supposedly known for his wisdom, yet he has completely failed Job. And we'll continue in verse 5. The dead tremble, those who live beneath the waters. The underworld is naked in God's presence. The place of destruction is uncovered. God stretches the northern sky over empty space and hangs the earth on nothing. He wraps the rain in his thick clouds, and the clouds don't burst with the weight. He covers the face of the moon, shrouding it with his clouds. He created the horizon when he separated the waters. He set the boundary between day and night. The foundations of heaven tremble. They shudder at his rebuke. By his power the sea grew calm. By his skill he crushed the great sea monster. His spirit made the heavens beautiful, and his power pierced the gliding serpent. These are just the beginning of all he does, merely a whisper of his power. Who then can comprehend the thunder of his power? This is one of the most beautiful scriptures. Job points out that death is a reality that mankind faces. However, God's power in heaven and on earth extends into what is beyond death. Mankind will not be able to hide from God even in death. God will judge us, as Hebrews 9:27 confirms. God sees everything from every single angle, even the realm of death. Job realizes that mankind has a unique and special relationship with God in terms of creation. He emphasizes the greatness of God, the vastness of God. He not only sees everything, he makes everything and controls it. Everything has to be attached to something or it will fall. That is just a fact, right? Yet God hangs the earth on nothing, and it remains there. God holds all that is physical and spiritual. He holds it all together. He is God. He is amazing, and he is way bigger and way greater than we can humanly comprehend. Job praises God for his mighty power in creation. God has power over all the heavens. Job uses a series of word pictures here to describe God as the divine architect. God controls day and night, land and waters. All God has to do is speak and the mountains tremble. After listing several places of evidence of God's power, Job bowed in humility before the Lord. Job will continue to wrestle with his own righteousness. He still doesn't understand how and why all these things are happening to him. However, he is beginning to understand that it is somehow connected to being in a true and real relationship with God. Job's friends may have impatiently listened to Job's character list of God, but they failed to draw the same conclusions from them. They saw God's handiwork in nature and thought that they knew all about God and could therefore explain God to Job. What we see of God in creation is literally the mere fringes of his greatness and who he is. What we hear through creation is just a whisper of his power. Knowing a few facts about the creation of God and how it all works together is not the same as knowing God and knowing the truths of God's creation. The more we learn about God, the more we discover that there's so much more to know and learn. The days we walk through on this side of heaven are unpredictable, they are uncertain, but we can choose to praise and worship the Lord through it all. We can choose to stand in awe of God and who he is no matter what. We can stand firm, and even if no matter what, faith, and choose to revel in the glory and awe of God and who he is. Give thanks to God every day, the creator of heaven and earth. Thank him for all he does and all he continues to do. Give thanks to the Lord for his mighty, powerful creation. The same God who created the cosmos and holds everything in the sky, holds it all together. He desires a real and intimate and personal relationship with each and every single one. He knows every cell within us. The God of miracles and wonders loves us more than we can humanly comprehend. And that in itself should cause us to just stand back in awe and just marvel at God and who he is. Just contemplate and meditate on that, on who God is and how he is so much greater, that all we see on this earth, all we experience is just a tiny little fringe, a tiny little fracture of who God is. And we're going to spend eternity learning about God and who he is. And he is preparing us on this earth for eternity. And we need to choose to stand firm. Stand firm. And even if, no matter what, faith, no matter what is going on in my life, I will look up and I will praise the Lord. I will thank him and I will worship him no matter what. Thanks, y'all. I hope you're having a glorious day in the Lord.